Hello, everybody. I'm Bob Hilke. I'd like to welcome everybody to our Friday Q&A meeting for our strategic partners for Premier Alignment. And one question, just to get things started here, one question that we've had come up this week is, how many companies have we helped implement our model of healthcare, which is known as aspirational healthcare model? And I think, Tommy, just to kind of preface this a little bit, our consulting firm is very new, and so is our strategic partner program. And so we don't have, a huge number of companies that we've officially implemented, but we do have some. And so if you could just speak to that, and that'll get us started with today's meeting. Thanks.
Okay, so this can be answered in one of two ways. For our complete consulting services, we have implemented about four, I think we're finishing up our fifth company right now. And it was out of the work of those four or five companies that they said, you guys really need to mass market this. So that's the answer to the first question. The CEOs that we've currently serviced has said, hey, can we get this out to more CEOs? So that was one of the reasons why Oriant started Premier Alignment Consulting. So those are the companies that we have currently and that we've implemented currently, along with our own company, Oriant, uses this model for all of their employees. And so happy to talk about some of the results that we've seen in Oriant, but I'm not going to get into that here and unless anybody wants, and then we can bring it to the next meeting, or
Sure.
you can talk to them individually. But Oriant, we actually use this model on our own company with our own employees as well. So the second answer to that question is the other reason why we're bringing this to medium to small companies over 50 employees, is because a lot of this is not nuance. Some of this is happening in the private sector with jumbo companies. Jumbo companies are always mitigating their costs by focusing on prevention and how can they get a cutting edge on prevention? Because the more prevention they do, then the less cost they pay out and still be able to give excellent healthcare services to their employees, right? So to answer that question, they have jumped on our product called the Super Bill. The Super Bill helps them bring on the DPCs that we talk about and some of these aspirational models so that they can become more preventative within their company. Currently, we have signed up, the last count that I know of was 68 companies. I believe we've signed up a couple more. Most of those companies are being onboarded throughout the next 3-year period time, because the Super Bill, as you know, Bob, is very new. And the Super Bill is a TPA program that allows companies to push the easy button on becoming self-insured. And for jumbo companies, it's allowing them to take on more modalities like DPCs or coaching that can help with preventative measures, where before a lot of this was separated out and harder for them to implement it. So with that program, once again, it's officially sold to 68 of the jumbo companies. We're onboarding them over the next 3 years. We have currently already officially onboarded Prudential, Ernst & Young, and Lindy. I do not remember who the fourth company we are onboarding right now, but we are getting ready to onboard our fourth company into the fourth year. And then starting in the first quarter, because those companies have gone so well, starting in the first quarter, instead of like one company a quarter, we'll start onboarding about 4 or 5 a quarter. And so those are the companies that we work with. Those are the companies that we bring some of these modalities and options into their services. For the full consulting services, a lot of the companies that we've worked with have been service providers. We've worked with an electrical engineer. We worked with an automotive shop. We worked with our own company, which is a coaching company. We worked with I forgot John's company is, but um, I know that they work in the healthcare clinic space, so it's healthcare clinics, and they've had us consult for their employees, which I think says a lot. We have a couple of those clients where they're actually with the healthcare clinic or assistant living clinic, so they're in the healthcare space and they've brought our consulting on board. So yeah, I hope that helps.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that about the types of companies we're helping, because that is a question that comes up every once in a while, especially when I'm talking with prospective strategic partners. Who's your target audience?
Yeah.
And it's like they expect us to have one narrow focus of an industry, but really we can help practically any company.
Yeah, we can help practically any company, but if we were to hyper focus it in, young SaaS companies that are looking to be set apart from their competition, they want innovation in this space because it kind of gives them bragging rights. So those type of companies are great referrals. And then on the opposite end of that, the best type of companies are service type companies like contractors and cleaners and janitorial because their margins are so small that any edge they can get while still providing great service to their clients is great. So any of those blue collar type companies where they're working really hard for us every day, but they don't have maybe the margins that most companies can not worry about it. And so then that would include manufacturing too. So I would say those are our two ideal. The financial sector and some of these other sectors, even in the healthcare sector where they have a lot of leeway and margins, sometimes they're not watching this cost as closely. And so those are harder to get into. Although they do like us, they are harder to get into. So the low-hanging fruits would be those other two industries.
Very good. Thanks, Tommy.
You're
I
welcome.
think we should just mention that starting next week, we'll be moving this meeting series to start at 1:30 Mountain Time instead of 2. So I'll send the invite change out to everybody.
Wonderful. And just so you guys all know, this is how we'll do the meeting. If you do ask Bob questions during the week, we'll bring them up in the meeting and send you out a video. If you guys want to be here and have discussions with us, great. And if you'd like to have Daryl on the meeting, then just request that from Bob and we can have Daryl himself here on the meeting to answer any of your questions.
Thanks, Tommy. All right. Till
Okay,
next week.
till next week.
Yep,
Bye.
bye.